Hello everypony, I am Critical Thought and welcome to my review of The Gift of Maud Pie. After his pretty well-made season premiere, The Crystalling, Josh Haber lends his hooves once again to this brand new episode. But this time, he's not alone. He also has the help of Michael P. Fox and Will Fox. Michael P. Fox has worked on such shows as Warehouse 13 and The Money in the Bank Show, the latter of which Will Fox has also worked on. I'm pretty confident in Josh Haber's abilities, but this story is seemingly more of the Fox brothers thing. They're brand new to the writing staff, so let's see if they can make a good first impression in The Gift of Maud Pie. Our episode begins with Pinky and Rarity aboard the Friendship Express on their way to Manhattan, so Rarity can pick out a location for her new Manhattan branch of the Carousel Boutique. When the Mares arrive in the big bustling city, they are greeted by Pinky's sister, Maud Pie. Well, actually, Pinky kind of does all the greeting. Maud is just kind of there being her usual inexpressive self. Theme. In a big, clunky mess of exposition, Pinky tells Rarity about the annual family tradition she has with Maud and her other sisters, which she calls PST, or Pie Sisters Surprise Swap Day. You know what, Pinky? I know you love your silly acronyms, but I don't. I'm just gonna call it Swap Day. Thank you very much. The premise of Swap Day is simple. Every year, Pinkie Pie sets aside one day to spend with one of her three sisters. They spend the day together in a different location each year to keep it interesting and fresh, and at the end of the day, Pinky and her sister give gifts to each other. Pinky says that since Maud was already living in Manhattan to study for her doctorate, kind of a stupid name, but okay, she thought it would be the perfect place to spend time with her for Swap Day this year. I see you in the background there, Surrey. And apparently so does Rarity. You watch yourself. I think we also just found Bulk Bicep's brother. Or maybe his dad. I can't really tell. Rarity's just about to leave the two sisters alone to spend the day together when Pinky stops her, begging Rarity to help her with something. She tells Rarity that there is a store downtown that sells rock pouches, and she wants to get one to give to Maud for Swap Day. Rarity is more than happy to help, suggesting that Pinky plan a sightseeing tour around the city that will lead her right near the pouch store, and then, when Pinky is close enough, Rarity will distract Maud so Pinky can buy the pouch. Pinky also suggests that Rarity can scout locations for her new shop along the way. One of the first sights on the sightseeing tour is the Statue of Liberty, or at least the pony version of it, whatever it's called. Ever since I saw Manhattan for the first time in Rarity Takes Manhattan, I've kind of always wanted to check out this statue closer, so I'm glad we finally get to see its observation deck in this episode. I've been to the real Statue of Liberty before, but I've never been inside of it. When I went, it was around the same time as the 10-year anniversary of 9/11, and the NYPD were suspicious that someone might try to attempt a terrorist attack on the statue, so the observation deck was closed. Of course, obviously nothing happened, but I was still kind of robbed of seeing the view from that observation deck. If you've been there and been inside of the observation deck, let me know if it looks anything like it does in this episode. I'd be very interested to hear about it. We are then treated to a montage of sorts that detail both the Pie sisters' sightseeing and Rarity's location scouting, all the while showing how excited Pinky is to give Maud her secret gift at the end of the day, always ending with an explosion from her party cannon. When you first see these instances of Pinky setting off her party cannon, you don't really pay it any mind, since it's simply par for the course for Pinkie Pie. It's a brand of randomness that's become a norm of sorts for her character. However, on my second viewing for this review, I noticed how this frequent use of the party cannon is subtly making it known how much of an important role it will play in the plot of this episode later on, and how Pinky's character just isn't complete without it. If this episode has one thing going for it so far, it's this. I love when a story can weave in little subtle details that either don't make sense or you don't notice until watching it a second time. When Pinky, Rarity, and Maud stop for lunch at a fancy restaurant, it's time to set their plan into motion. Pinky leaves for the pouch store, which is only a block away, and Rarity keeps Maud busy by asking about Boulder's history. However, when Pinky arrives at the rock pouch store, she is met with a closed door and a troublesome note saying that the owner of the pouch store is off on vacation and won't be back for a few days, or, as it says in the letter, a few moons. So moons are supposed to be based off of days. At least, that's what they're meant to represent now. Why older episodes made them seem like they were months or even years is still kind of a mystery to me, though. OMG, this cop pony is adorable. Best pony so far in this episode. Her design is just so simple and yet so cute. Gah! Must acquire plushie!
Garçon! 1 super deluxe 2-mile-high hot fudge sundae stat!
Diabetes.
When Pinky returns to the restaurant, she tells Rarity that she was unable to buy the pouch for Maud, and becomes upset and distraught that she now has absolutely no gift for her at all. I'm not quite sure how Maud doesn't hear any of this. They are talking pretty loudly, and gigantic sundaes aren't known for their soundproof qualities. Afterwards, we get a quick cameo from the MLP theme on a giant floor piano, reminiscent of the one that used to be found in the old FAO Schwarz toy store in New York City. Luckily, I did get to go to this store before its unfortunate closing in July of 2015. This place was absolutely magical. Like, it could only be described as what a kid would imagine heaven to be like. Seriously, if you've never seen this store before, look up some pictures of when it was in operation. The prices were outrageous, and I never bought anything from there, but it was by far the world's best toy store. I was sad to hear it close due to Toys R Us buying the company and shutting down its NYC location to save money upon doing this review. Rarity tries probing Maud's feelings to see if there's anything in Manhattan she wants, but seemingly can't find a single thing Maud is interested in. OMG, it's the attack of the memes! Twicane, the shark that got jumped! Smarty Pants! 3 pony memes in the course of 4 seconds? That's an Academy record! Ah, dang it, I've made it 4 now, haven't I? Rarity loses it when Maud says she's interested in a fissure in the ground, and when Maud makes a comment about how she wishes she had something to carry Boulder in after she nearly loses him, Pinky also becomes upset, realizing how perfect the rock pouch she wanted to get Maud would have been. Just then, as Pinky is describing the pouch she wasn't able to get for Maud, Rarity sees a pony walking down the street with one just like it, and Pinky rushes to catch up with him and ask him if he would be willing to part with it. I've seen hydras, manticores, wendigos, and even a horrific tentacle snake monster that looks like it was ripped straight out of Resident Evil. And honestly, I think none of them are as creepy to me as this pony right here. This pony seems like he's the kind of guy who would put you at gunpoint just for getting in his way. The creepy gangster pony offers Pinky a trade, his rock pouch for her party cannon. As I said earlier, the party cannon is practically a piece of Pinky's personality, so she is obviously torn and conflicted about the trade. However, she returns to Rarity, visibly upset, with the rock pouch, and without her party cannon. I gotta say, this bit with Rarity impersonating Pinkie Pie did make me chuckle quite a bit, and it's probably one of the best pieces of humor from this episode. Pinky informs Rarity about the sacrifice she had to make, and Rarity is utterly shocked that Pinky parted with something that meant so much to her. But Pinky says all that really matters to her is her sister's happiness with her swap day gift. That afternoon, the Pie sisters and Rarity sit down to finally exchange the gifts. Maud is thrilled to receive the rock pouch, at least according to Pinky she is. I can't really tell. When Pinky opens her gift, at first she's happy and grateful, but when she finds out that the gift is actually cupcake-scented confetti for her party cannon, she starts to cry. It's unclear whether these are genuine tears of joy or tears of sadness disguised as tears of joy, but either way, this scene can be a tearjerker if you're a Pinky fan. Later, while talking to Maud, Rarity starts to make Maud suspicious about why Pinky isn't using her new confetti with her party cannon, resorting to teleportation and even the stare version 2.0. Eventually, Maud breaks Rarity down and she spills everything to her. Rarity calls Pinky over and Maud confronts her personally about trading her party cannon for the pouch. After Pinky tells her the truth, Maud walks off to find the pony with Pinky's cannon and get it back for her. It's pretty easy for her with her Maud sense, which apparently is a thing. Rarity helps to convince the creepy gangster pony that Maud is furious with him, and manages to scare him senseless, making him more than willing to take back his pouch in return for the party cannon. After Pinkie is happily reunited with her party cannon, Maud helps Pinkie understand that it isn't the gift you give that matters. What matters is that you give it from the heart, with love. Personally, while I don't think this is the most important moral ever, it is still a really good one for both children and adults to take to heart. I think this moral would have had a bit more impact behind it if this story were tweaked to take place and air during the holidays, and if the gifts were hearthwarming gifts instead of swap day gifts. That would give this moral of giving from the heart way more relevance for the times, as it's one that can be forgotten by many during that time of the year. It's definitely not a bad moral by any means, but I think the setting and the plot work against it just a little bit. We close out the episode with Rarity showing off the location for her new store, nestled in the heart of Manhattan, and Pinkie Pie telling her that the Pie Sisters Surprise Swap Day is now the Pie Sisters Surprise Swap Day with Rarity. Also, Maud winks, and it's hilarious. So, what did I think of The Gift of Maud Pie? While it certainly did have some decent faces and comedic moments, and I'm always happy to explore the wide world of Equestria in more detail, I hate to say this episode doesn't really do it for me. Seeing all the references to NYC was great, and the moral was adequate, but this episode just wasn't exciting enough to grab my attention. I don't want to seem unreasonable and make it sound like I think all episodes need to be action-packed and epic, because I don't think that at all. In fact, I'd say the slice-of-life stories are often the best parts of a season. It's just that the stakes of a slice-of-life story need to be engaging and carry the same level of tension as one of the epic action stories would. I don't get that vibe from this episode. I get the sense that Pinkie parting with her party cannon was supposed to be the epic climax that I was supposed to care about, but I just can't. I don't care about the party cannon like I do Rarity or Pinkie. And just because Pinkie cares about the cannon doesn't make me invested in it. This concept of trading something important for something the other pony wants was done before in Tradia, but in that instance, the impact was handled so much better because it was Fluttershy being traded. I cared about losing Fluttershy, and that made me invested in Dashie's plight to get her back. Here, I'm just like, it's just a cannon. I hate to say it, Fox Bros, but you have failed to deliver a good first impression as new writers for FIM. The Gift of Maud Pie gets a clear skip-it rating from me. It has its strong suits, but they can't save it from its faults. As always, I am Critical Thought, and I will see you all in my next video. Never stop thinking critically.